Hi everyone, praise the Lord. From grass to grace and grace to grass. Part 3. Now we are at the point where they have done the traditional marriage and they are to head to Lodwar Turkana where my father works, but they cannot go there because the tradition says they first have to go to the first wife. Because remember, at this point, my mom was a second wife. Okay, before we head to Nairobi, I am returning backwards to introduce my great grandmother to you. I will introduce my grandmother, but today I will introduce my great grandmother because she was in a previous story. My great grandmother was called Priska Were. At home, we call her Nyamondi. So when you go home, we have lots of Priskas, we have lots of Nyamondi. Yes. Now, Nyamondi was a woman who was around 5'3", 5'4" in height, light skinned, and very curvy. My mom tells me that she was, I think, the second last wife to Dr. Meshach Odera. My great grandfather was a doctor during the time with an army. They called him a flying doctor, right? I think they were treating the Navy people. So I think that was the term. I don't know if it is right now, but back then I hear that was the term. And she was a beautiful lady. And apparently, she was the wife that my grandfather would move around with most of the time when going to places, you know. That is the story behind her. And when the husband went to be with the Lord, the husband went when he was pretty young too, in his 30s, and left him with only two children, or I think three or four, I'm not sure. So the rest of them he had with what we call customary as jater. Jater is someone, if you are still young and your husband has gone to be with the Lord, you are permitted to stay in your land, have more children, but they will bear the late man's name. So they will carry the late man's legacy. Yes. And she, as I told you, she is a tough woman, a very tough woman who never permitted anyone to try and, mess around with her. You understand? Let me give you an example. That is the first one is a part of an example, and the second one is she had beautiful girls, and whenever these girls had a disagreement with their husbands and they ran back home, remember she was the woman in the home. There was no man because the husband had gone to be with the Lord earlier, and the daughter came back and said, "Oh, this person did this to me and me, of course, their husband." And she'll just say, "Oh, my daughter, stay here. You cannot go and die. Just stay here." So when the man comes after the wife, he will be charged to bring some cows or some goats. Yeah, and she stood so firm with the word. And most of the time, you would find out the man did not even know they disagreed with the wife. like my mom told me, there's a time her auntie just decided to go out at night, and the husband is asking, "Where are you going?" And then she tells the son, "Let's go. We are going to pee, because people peed outside, okay?" And then she just held the son's hand, and then they started walking, walking, walking. And then the son is like, "Mom, where are we going?" "We are going home." So the son was like, "Okay, fine, we're going to see my grandma." And when they were almost reaching the gate, her mom started wailing, like crying, like really loud. And the son is like, "Mom, what is happening to you? Did something happen to you?" Because they were fine, they were telling stories, they were laughing. When she reached there, she told her mom lots of things that the husband had done. Yes, and the man had to pay or whatever he had to pay for the wife to go back. Now, that was my great grandmother, Nyamondi. It was a woman of authority. Right. Okay, now let's get back to my mom. Now, during that time, after marriage, the girl could not go alone. There had to be a cousin that escorts her. So for her cousin who was called Atieno, but we called her Tisho, who is late right now, may she rest in peace. She's the one who escorted my mom. And she was young back then. The lady also was like, I think in class 8. So she must have been around 13, 14 roughly. or 15, if but I think between 14 there. So we went, I can remember vividly, in Nairobi. We were in, I can remember because I was not familiar with the flats, okay? And, and where we were staying, it was flats. Now, this is the story my mom tells me. My mom told me when they reached there, because that was the co-wife's house, they let us sleep in the living room because it was just a one bedroom house. Yes. When my dad would leave in the morning to go and do the things for the work and, such like things, and the lady also goes to work and comes back. But whenever my father comes back, the lady would always have accusations. And she says all these things were just things she says from her head. It's like she just wanted conflicts or something. She did not understand. And always there were cases at night. So they kept on calling my mom and her cousin, and it was always something after something. And my mom said, I was so tired at this point. And I asked myself, did these people bring me here to kill me or what? Now, this time round, when they called my mom for such a case, my mom started making noise, like literally. She said she made noise for them and said, if you want to kill me, return me back home. Return me back home. I do not want anything to do with this nonsense. You do not bring me here to make a court case out of me. None of you have studied the law. None of you are magistrates. So I will not have you sit me down again. And at this point, my father was so frustrated, and my father talked to the cousins who are living around Nairobi and said, okay, you know what, take her to Lodwa with you. Take her to Lodwa with you. You cannot let her stay with this other woman because it will not coexist. And that is how now we went to Lodwa, Turkana. Now, that is a story for another day. We will continue from there. May the Lord keep you. May he favor you, may his face shine upon you, and may he give you peace that surcomes human understanding. And please be watchful of the strategy of the enemy and be at a secret place with the Lord all the time. Have a good one.